building on the U of A game, and then what you were able to do again, even really more so.
Right.
Cal game.
Just a lot of preparation, a lot of hard work. And like I said, I feel like that's the kind of stuff probably could have happened all season. But I was, put down by some injuries. So, stuff happened. What's up? What's good, bruh? But, so, it's just little stuff like that kind of harnesses you from doing as good as you could. And ever since Utah, I feel like I really started to get more in the mix, not in the offense, but more in the mix of my body and being able to do the things I knew I could have done the whole time.
Is there any sense of frustration, or you just have no regrets, really?
There's always a sense of frustration because you see other guys that have more yards and you have less catches, and you right on the cusp of having more yards in them or having as many yards as them. So it's frustrating, but hopefully in this last game I'm able to surpass all of them. I want an even bigger game in Cal, honestly.
Were you able to build? Did it help what you did against U of A though, building into the Cal game? Was there some momentum that carried over there?
Not too much. I wasn't too much thinking about what happened in the Arizona game going into the Cal game. To be honest, you don't think about how good you're going to do going into a game. Like, I want this many catches and this many touchdowns. It kind of just starts to happen. And then when you're on the sideline and people are telling you what the stats are looking like, you're like, oh, crap, all right, I got to get more and more and more. That's kind of really how it goes. So you don't really plan for it. It's just something that's more of a reaction.
Have you studied West Virginia enough to have a sense of what you're getting into against them?
Yeah, I watched them as soon as I found out we were playing. While Alabama was playing, I think, who were they playing? Alabama was playing some team to get into the playoff. They're playing Florida. Kansas State was playing West Virginia. I knew we were going to play the winner of that two games. So instead of watching that Alabama-Florida game, I was watching the West Virginia and Kansas State game. So, they have a very good defense. They're one of the leading team in stopping people on third down. They get a lot of pressure in, and they play a lot of man, which and to me is more of a benefit because man-on-man coverage is a lot easier to get by than zone coverage.
I mean, I know I've been there only 1 year, and it's not that you didn't feel comfortable, going back to the summer, but see you there in the banquet on Saturday over there with the seniors, just like one of the guys, Sun Devil for life and all that.
Right.
When you look back at the whole journey, is it just kind of weird to this thing it still happened?
Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird, man. I was just at a UCLA banquet last year. When the V at the Arizona State banquet is something different, but there's a lot of truth when they say Sun Devil for life, Of course, like I always say, I don't have as much invested as some of the seniors and some of the coaches that have been here a lot longer than me, but I feel like I became part of a guys, and for that I'm thankful for everyone who's brought me into the Sun Devil Nation.
Do you think you've done enough to get a chance at the next level, get a look?
Oh yeah, of course. I think I had done enough at UCLA to get a look, but I didn't play this game. I haven't been playing since I was 5.5 just to get a look. I played this game to get drafted, and that's why I came here.
I mean, do you feel that, you look at your experience at Arizona State, was it everything you thought it was going to be? Is it something that even surprises you to the day about the experience?
One thing that surprised me is how bad we did. I thought we were going to do a lot better this season. But in terms of personnel and coaches and everything along that nature, nothing's really surprised me too much. I kind of knew what I was getting into when I got here. And I'm not disappointed. Seasons like this happen. There's been great teams that have bad seasons all the time. So I just hope that the younger guys have learned something from this class, and hopefully they can take it to next year so they can have a better season.
What do you think about the three young quarterbacks? What stands out about them?
They're all very competitive, and they're all very good. Coach Lindsey's going to have a hard time picking a quarterback next year. You have Manny, who I feel probably the team is more comfortable with since he's had more playing time in the game. But then you have Bryce Perkins, who's just a freak of nature, throwing and both running the ball. And then you have Brady White, who really reminds me of a Tom Brady type in the way he approaches the game and how good he wants to be on the field. But then off the field, he's the coolest guy you can meet. So Coach Lindsey's going to have a very hard decision to make come this spring. I don't know who's going to win, honestly.
Speaking of Coach Lindsey, is the offense right now maybe in a different mindset to be more focused on, more honed on what needs to be done just because Mike Norvell's not here?
We miss Coach Norvell and we wish him the best at Memphis. We know that he made that decision for his family. But with Coach Lindsey here, he hasn't really tried to do too much different. He wants to keep it the same to not confuse us going into our last game. But I'm sure when the bowl game is over, he's going to do his due diligence in making the offense what he wants it rather than how Coach Norvell had it. I hear they're pretty much kind of similar, though, probably a little bit different terminology.
Everybody seems to really like him, though. Is that your impression of him too, Lindsey?
Yeah, Coach Lindsey, he seems like a very cool, chill, mellow, down-to-earth guy. And he seems like he has a right way of correcting problems instead of, just thrashing the guy and trying to embarrass him. He just take you to the side or just say, buddy, I want you to do it like this. And, if we can't get it down, we're not going to call it in the game, which is, I feel like that's a great approach of doing it, because not only is he not yelling at you and embarrassing you, he's telling you the real, and he's trying to give you an opportunity to shine in the game. And if you're not going to do it right, he's not going to call it. So, I like that approach, personally.
Speaking of coaches, talk about the relationship with Delvon Alexander. Did you have that LA connection going from day one?
No, not really. I didn't really know Coach Delvon Alexander too much coming into Arizona State, but when I had got here, I found out that my auntie Butterfly was his cousin's hairdresser. So it's like, that LA connection is just always around. So everyone knows everyone. So I guess he knew a lot about me before I knew anything about him.
But as far as coaching style and everything, especially as a senior, when you really want to get things done,
right?
Can you just talk about that relationship, his coaching style?
His coaching style has been really good. He's very hands-on, especially when it comes to scheme and how to attack a defense. I feel like he's more of a in the classroom kind of guy than on the field. He wants to get you to understand what the other team is doing and what you can do to get to beat that defense and coverages and things like that, etc. So I think he's really hands-on when it comes to stuff like that, and I appreciate him for it. He's gotten me a lot better.
How important is this bowl game for you, just to finish up now that you've had these two really great games in a row? Is it important to keep that going for one more game, just for your future?
Yeah, I think it's honestly the biggest game of my life. I want to go out and show not only Sun Devil Nation that they got a great receiver in me coming here, but I want to show the rest of the world that I'm just as good as any of these other receivers that they put on such a high mark. And had I been a Sun Devil the whole time, I probably would have been right there with them.